Ooh, this week's Patreon poll was a tight race, ladies and gentlemen, in that I was pretty much able to project the winner within minutes of posting the poll. But what? I thought the boring melodrama always wins, even though they've only won twice and usually come in fourth. Not that I'm any better at predicting these polls. I would have guessed For Love or Mummy would have won. But nope, it was a race between an El Santo movie and 77 people who forgot the robot versus the Aztec mummy was already an MST3K episode. But why do we need another review for an El Santo movie when we already have a review for one? Just kidding. Three Dev Adam is as much of an El Santo movie as Bruno Mattei's Terminator 2 is an official sequel to The Terminator. I could get into the backstory of El Santo, but this legendary image is all you need to know. Not only is he the luchador to end all luchadors, but he's also the star of comics, animated series, and over 50 feature films. Seriously, the movie we're talking about today, Santo and the Vengeance of the Mummy, is from 1971, and by that point there had already been more El Santo movies than there are James Bond movies now. While The Mummy is trying very hard to establish its own cinematic universe, the Santo-verse was already old enough to drink by the time it introduced its mummy. This is a lot of words. I don't know what half of them mean. Just give me the gist and shorten the title to Santo and Vengeance. These are the credits of a carpenter. There's only one way to find out. Gonna drink the credits. However, I want to commend Gustavo on his massive titulos. The film comes to us from director Rene Cardona, and remember that's senior, not junior. Junior's the one who gave us Johnsontown. Never fear though, the movie has real subtitles. Sorta. Don't you just love it when you get subtitling that's cut off by the bottom of the screen? It looks like it's translating into Braille. But why? Or maybe it's Morse code. The other wrestler's sending us signals. He needs help. I know exactly what's gonna happen. El Santo is gonna mummify these people, and they'll rise to seek revenge. That is classic Santo. Hard to believe the best video game movie is the one based on muscle. Weird thing is, the Yellow Undies guy isn't even part of the match. He's just sick of waiting for his beer. And the stock footage goes wild. If you want to know who is winning, I'll tell you. The audience. The audience is winning. The winner is chosen when the dreaded handjob move is given. By the way, this match has been going on for 6 minutes. Let's see what's happening at the 8-minute point in the movie.
De la pareja italiana. Casanova y el rebelde golpeando duramente en el estómago el Santo.
Okay, how about 10 minutes in?
Ahora para la tercera caída. Está Casanova golpeando al novato el rebelde y qué forma de golpearlo duramente sobre las costillas.
Oh look, I'm not gonna be the one who tells El Santo to wrap up this scene, so please, continue as long as you want. And then El Topo Chico was never heard from again. Anyway, a map is discovered which leads to a burial site of ancient artifacts. Okay. That's some very unfortunate hat hair you have. He needs to put that back on right now. El Santo is there to accompany these explorers for reasons. Also, they're accompanied by Satan. He knows evil when he sees it. There's a luchador randomly standing in our office. Do we acknowledge him? Wait, why am I putting words in their mouths when there are subtitles?
Como no quiero ocultarles que podemos tropezar con innumerables peligros, sobre todo si encontramos el fabuloso tesoro del príncipe Nono.
And they don't work for shit. I can't put fake subtitles over parts of real subtitles. No one will fall for that, and I won't get any responses that say, wait, are those subtitles real? Yes, they're real. There's literally a scene in Passion of the Christ where Jesus says, I stole this from a 7-Eleven. And now they've arrived in a giant Tonka truck. They're off to find the lost city of the Masked Zed. I guess I can pretend to know what's going on.
Como usted sabe, este es el último punto de civilización. De aquí en adelante, la endemoniada selva, con sus pantanos y miles de peligros.
Bueno,
Además,
necesitan decidirse pronto.
See. This movie figured out a way to give me subtitles, but still leave me confused. Nope, no ancient treasure there. Please, give me something I can understand. Okay, well, traveling, I understand that. Guys, you're not gonna find a mummy in the Amazon, but you may find the remains of some dead documentary filmmakers. As they travel through the Great Wasabi Lake, they begin to annoy each other by slamming branches in their faces. But when a panther gets stuck in a tree, don't call the fire department, call El Santo. And that cat never clawed a piece of furniture again. Unfortunately, the chef turns out to be a cannibal. They gotta eat something, I guess. As they travel through the Will It Fit asshole, they're likely to find all kinds of fruits and vegetables. I don't know why they need the lantern. The cave is already fantastically lit. The weird thing is that they were searching for the lost treasure of Atlantis, but I guess this'll do. El Santo doesn't know what to do since there's no bears for him to strangle. Mexican Charles Grodin from King Kong is very pleased at their findings. Tragedy will soon strike when they uncover the skeletal remains of the Buttercream Gang during their search for Treasure Mountain. They find the next spot on the map, which leads them to ancient stock footage. Man has not yet seen this footage from Mexican Caligula 3. In this flashback, the two lovers end up running off before they're cast in an unfortunate interpretation of Pocahontas. What are you doing, you fools? If you run into any Black Panthers, you don't have a luchador to toss it back into the jungle. Thankfully, this is the ancient tribe of no peripheral vision. And then they bang! Wait, really? They bang? Guys, can you keep it in your pants until... Oh, never mind, they're already caught. See? Thinking with your dick has been around since the beginning of time! One is killed and turned into a fruit plate, and the other gets to chill for a couple thousand years. Guess that's the end of that story. And there's our star, hanging out in the background. One of El Santo's powers is being a good listener. No, Chef Jorge, you cannot cook and serve us the mummy. This causes the chef to throw a tantrum, and he wakes up El Santo while he was masturbating. The mummy arrives and has the power to shoot an arrow at people who aren't even in the same time of day as him. No, this makeup looks too good. We need to add countless CGI touch-ups. Make it look like a cartoon, that'll be more realistic. The mummy is indeed seeking vengeance for the panther. Again, Santo just kind of stands there. Sure you have a gun, but can you catch bullets with your teeth? Santo can. More tragedy strikes as Pedro drank all the tequila and died. Young Guillermo Howard is saddened. Meanwhile, in an alternate shot from earlier in the film, by George, there's a free dinner table. Santo wants to leave. He says call him when there's an anaconda he can tie in a knot. If this were Joe D'Amato's Erotic Nights of the Mummy, we would have gotten some sweet lesbian sex before discovering this corpse. On the plus side, they can take its bones and make eating utensils out of it. Let's hook it up to a brainwave machine and see if it's still alive. Santo watches and suddenly vanishes. Is there no end to his powers? Still, nothing can top his amazing power of standing silently and listening. Anyway, the Mexican professor says there's still no way off the island. Only one thing left to do, find out if the mummy is full of candy. I agree with El Santo. That does look fun. The kid sneaks out so he can annoy people in the latest Darna movie, or he's just collecting live bait from this guy's beard so he can fish. Amazing that they end up getting any sleep considering how the tents are as bright as the fucking sun. Seriously, turn off the set lights. You're gonna set the tent on fire. This movie has the amazing technique of making it feel like they're standing in front of a giant painting, even though I know they aren't. And how dare you interrupt Santo's Butador sleep? I'm sure both the kid and the third act are around here somewhere. The mummy is smart enough to shut off the power in the cave. It's well after hours. Hello. Goodbye. The real reason the mummy is pissed is that his former friends, the Templar Knights, abandoned him to make their own movie series. So he's gotta kill children. No, you dropped the hat. That's where the protein is. We're about to find out why Short Round disappeared from that series. My God, I can use this as a toilet. And the kid is saved. Yay. Any other heroes? Good, you shot a bird. That'll stop him. Oh no, he's dead, killed with a deadly Charlie horse. Now they must help each other solve this mystery. Or I guess fighting will do. Santo's gotta fight something since there's not a family of cheetahs nearby. Hey, I nearly broke my back lugging that salad bar through the jungle. El Santo has no fear of plastic knives bought from a spirit Halloween. And I'm pretty sure El Santo punches the scene to an abrupt conclusion. And he also rewound the damn thing. On the plus side, someone installed a zip line. That looks like a treat. Guess I could try following the subtitles again.
Estoy más acostumbrado. Con un caballo, en un par de días estaré en la civilización.
Está bien, lo acompañaré hasta el potrero. Usted encárguese de que no falte el agua y haga un control de los víveres.
I agree. God damn it, we're lost. Somehow we ended up in the Ozarks. Be y'all a mutton or be y'all a coy rabbit? And then in another part of the jungle, the fuck? Does El Santo have teleportation powers? Of course he does. And now time for mummy target practice. Well, someone just got disqualified from the archery tournament. Oops, I told you to turn off the stage lights or you'll start a fire. Well, I guess one thing didn't perish in the fire, the Bloody Mary bar. I think they overpacked a bit. And then Betty Rizzo gives El Santo the confidence he needs to punch a lion. And I'm not so sure about the time lapses in this movie.
No debe hablar así.
Sergio, ya está la comida.
Venga, profesor.
5 minutes later... Now he goes to Glenn Ford for a second opinion. And yes, El Santo still needs to punch a lion. It's finally dark, so Satan can get some sleep. Or not. Oh my God, a roaming soap opera! And he's an asshole! Now to steal all the maps and go treasure hunting for myself. Mummified Belloc is not to be trusted. I'm sure El Santo will put a stop to this. That is, if he's not sleeping. Pranks! Look, if a luchador can't comfort you in this slasher film that you've wandered into, then nothing will cheer you up. Now to bury this water buffalo who remained in a headlock for too long. Oh, thank God, she's already dug her own grave, so we just gotta push some dirt onto her. The mummy is doing a good job of leaving alive the one man who can stop him. And as they chase the mummy, this all looks really familiar, as if I've seen it in another internet series.
On the next episode of Will It Fit, we'll be giving new meaning to the term firehole. We'll see if my ass can stop even a bullet, and it wouldn't be the first time I fit a whole luchador. Don't worry, folks. As you can see, my proctologist has given me the okay that anything can fit.
Oh right, Will It Fit? An educational porno series! I wonder what's gonna happen. Oh, of course they fight. Mexican wrestling, infinitely superior. And yes, the two wrestle for several minutes before finally realizing that this mummy too is also a masked vengeance seeker. Oh, who the hell is that? And then they're off to the final moments of the movie.
El Santo, el héroe de las multitudes contra el búfalo. Un hombre de 122 kilos que ha retado el Santo máscara contra máscara.
Yep, this is the remaining 5 minutes of the movie.
My son was a panther, you son of a bitch.
Alright, let's just skip to the end.
Santo que lo haga el mismo y aquí va por él. Ah, ya lo conozco.
Holy crap, he was a mummy this entire time! And here's his fucking head. The end. And now I know everything I needed to know about mummies, archaeology, and Mexican wrestling. No thanks to the subtitles! This movie feels like it was an existing script that was altered to throw in a pre-existing character. Gee, that sounds familiar. But El Santo would continue in many more movies to come, including Santo vs. Frankenstein's daughter, because that prick Jesse James couldn't do anything about it. And that's why the Dark Universe will fail, because there were 0 scenes of luchadors wrestling panthers. I mean, that's clearly a given.
¡Ajá! Con que agarrando la carne, ¿verdad? ¡Ay, de las vergüenzas! ¿Que no vengan con la comida de mañana?
Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/StonedGremlinProductions. Follow us on Twitter at the Cinema Snob, or check out our homepage at thecinemasnob.com.